Crash by Jerry Spinelli, chapters 13 and 14. Chapter 13, pages 43 through 48. Chapter 13. You never know who's going to get home first. Tonight it was my mom. Before she even closed the door, she kicked off her shoes across the living room floor. She flopped into an easy chair and melted into it. Her legs straight out, heels on the rug, toes up, head back, eyes closed. Did you eat? Yeah, I said pizza. Mike was here. She didn't move. She looked dead. Abby came bursting in. Mommy! She threw the ruler she had been using on the sofa and jumped on the lap of her body. My mother grunted. Hey, you're not 3 anymore. When are you going to stop being so perky? Her eyes were still closed. Abby bounced on her lap. I have to be perky, Mom, because you're so tired all the time I gotta make up for you. My mom's right eye opened for a second, then closed again. You'd be tired too if you hadn't sold a house since the Pilgrims came over. My mother sells real estate. Abby made a face and pounded the arm of the chair. Oh no, not again. She pulled my mother's head onto her shoulder and hugged her. Like she was the mother. Why don't you just sell me a house, Mom? I'll buy one from you. She reached into my mom's armpit and tickled. My mom screamed and shot upward and snatched Abby's hand away. Why can't you just go away and let me be miserable? She said. She was chuckling and hugging. Abby, as she said it, her eyes swung to me. How was your first day? I shrugged. Okay. Penn Webb is out for cheerleading. Her eyes widened. Penn Webb? The boy? If you want to call him that. He's nice, Abby butted in. I like him. For some reason, it bugs me how alike Webb and my sister are, especially with nature stuff. They go walking this turtle together. It shows you how immature he is, hanging out with a 5th grader. And they're both perky. My dad walked in. If it was possible, he looked even draggier than my mom. Abby ran to him. Daddy, Daddy, I love you, Daddy. She put her arms around his waist and snuggled into his shirt. My father looked sideways at my mother. What does she want? My mother pushed herself up on the chair and stuffed up. She's just being perky. Hungry? Don't worry about me, he said, letting Abby pull his briefcase away. I'll get something. My mother flapped her hand as she went into the kitchen. Well, I'm here now. Abby held the suitcase with both hands on her. It looked like a suitcase. Daddy, I do want something. I want to know how many square feet in an acre. My mother's voice sailed off in from the kitchen. 43,560. The 3 of us gawked at the kitchen doorway. My mother's face appeared. Real estate school, and disappeared. Abby opened my dad's briefcase and got out his calculator. He punched some buttons on it and let out a yelp of joy. Yes! My father took back the calculator. What was that for? Abby clenched her fist. There were secrets in her eyes. Surprise! Surprise! I went up to my room. Pretty soon I could smell frying onions. I went back down, the 3 of them in the kitchen. My mother was making cheesesteaks. It's about the only thing that she makes good. She scowled at me. You don't really want more to eat, do you? I didn't say anything. Didn't have to. She knew the answer. She put on another steak. I stuck a printed form in front of my dad. You got to sign this. Permission to play football. He read it. What if I don't give you permission? I'll play anyway. He pushed the paper away. I'll think about it. We've gone through this little joke every year since midget football. Eric Schultz said he's going to send me home crying, I said. My father nodded. Scared? Terrified. My mother served the steaks. Penn Webb's going out for cheerleading, I said. My dad is usually pretty cool, but this time his head jerked up like he got caught by an uppercut. What? Who? Penn Webb wants to be a cheerleader. He bit off the end of his sandwich. He shook his head, chewed, chuckled, and spoke all at once. Now that's terrifying. Dad and I, cracked up. Abby glared. And he gets his clothes at a second time around, I said. That's no crime, said my mom. What's second time around, said Abby. A thrift shop, said my mother. It means, I said, used, like in used clothes. He wears rags that other people throw away. My mother sprinkled pepper on her steak. She spoke to Abby. They are not rags. There are clothes that are still good that people donate to be sold. The proceeds go to the hospital. Abby looked off some melted cheese. Like recycled clothes? Exactly. Abby took a couple of bites. She kept staring at my mom. You could tell she was chewing on more than steak. Mom? Yes. Can I get my clothes at second time around from now on? My mother smiled. We'll see. I said, if he doesn't make cheerleading, I hope we can find a used skirt there. My father gave a snort. The females glared. My mother turned to Abby. Speaking of gender issues, why did you ask your father about the number of square feet in an acre? Why not your mother? Abby had a yellow mustache from melted cheese. She looked stumped for a minute. I thought acres were men's stuff. That kind of thinking, said my mother, pointing her finger, will make you a second-class citizen. Abby thought it over. She does that. Me, if grown-ups don't make sense, I forget it. Why bother? I said to my father, first game is October 8th. I should have stopped right there, but my mouth blabbered on. Against Hillside East. Think you can make it? My father took a bite and a sip of his diet soda, blinked, sniffed, poured salt on his steak. He cleared his throat, but he didn't speak. He nodded. I wanted to kill myself. Why did I have to put through why do I have to put him through that? All I have to do is mention the date and let it go at that. I punched myself under the table. Abby was done thinking about it. She snapped her head and said, okay, Mom, can I have a stamp, an envelope, and a piece of paper? Ask your father. He's the stamp, envelope, and paper person. Abby giggled and threw up her arms. I give up. I'll never figure out the gender business. Even though I had to laugh, I didn't know how long we'd be there after the plates were empty. As I was getting up to go, Abby says, notice anything? We all looked at her. I sure wasn't going to say it. My mother did. What? Abby raised her arms and swung around with a grin as big as a hoagie roll. We all ate a meal together. I headed off. The living room was getting dark. I twirled my finger. Whoopee, just like a real family. Chapter 14, pages 49 through 51. Chapter 14, September 13th, first day of practice. I couldn't wait to put the pads back on, but first we had business with Webb. Yesterday, Mike said to me, do you believe we've been in this school this long and didn't do anything to him yet? I nodded. It's unbelievable. It's a disgrace. We got to do something before he starts thinking he's safe. Tomorrow. All last year, we tormented Webb. Mostly little stuff, like messing with his locker or his clothes or his books, like something would be missing, then mysteriously show up in the next day or week. Or we'd wonder how everyone was pinching him until he discovered the pinch me sign on the back of his shirt. He's so dumb. He never figures out who's doing it. He never gets mad at us. In fact, he never gets mad at anyone. Day after day, his chippy, chirpy, perky self. What a moron. So we thought about it yesterday, and we did it today. It was in the last period, geography. Mike thought the mustard in one of those squeeze dispensers. He slipped it to me before class. I had the seat behind Webb. Mike went to work as soon as Webb came in. Today's button read, hug a tree. How you doing, Spider? What's up, dude? Giving him the dipsy doodle handshake, loosening him up. That's how we wanted him. Loose, relaxed. Because this year we noticed that he has a new routine. Lots of times, right in class, he makes himself at home and pries off all his sneakers. We didn't have to wait long. About 10 minutes into class, off comes the right sneaker. Mike nods. I take out the mustard, shake it, lean it down, and give it a good long shot into that baby. Before I have a chance to straighten off comes the other supermarket beauty. Squirt, squirt, like it was a foot-long hot dog. From then on, every minute I would duck down, squirt, squirt. In between my duties, I noticed today's subject was erosion. I've even heard the teacher mention the wind in North Dakota. I kept squirting till the spout blew yellow bubbles. Then I unscrewed the top, reached in with an eraser end of my pencil, scooped out the rest of the mustard, and painted the sneaker tongues and lace